Okay. Welcome back, everyone. Glad you can be with us to see Andrew's presentation. So I'd like to introduce Andrew Mancuso, who is the preservation officer at Case Western, who's going to be giving a demonstration on using nose hair trimmers to create odd-sized fills. So let you take it away, Andrew. Thanks again for your presentation.
Oh, thanks, Jim, for the introduction. Hello, everybody. So yeah, I'm gonna talk to you today about how to build this little nifty nose hair trimmer perforating pen. I'm not even going to talk to you. I'm pretty much just going to show this video, and then afterward we can talk about some of the, more technical things we need to. And I'll show you another kind of cool little retrofit thing that I did in a similar vein. So before I roll it, are there any questions before we get started? Does everybody understand what the purpose of the silly nose hair trimmer is?
I don't.
Okay, so when we need to make fills in an object that has a loss, let's say, and it's a weird shape, it typically takes a long time to take a piece of Eastern tissue and perforate the entire thing with your hand and then tear it apart and use it as repair material. So with this, it makes it very easy to just draw around some fun shapes and pull them out really quickly. Up, spotlighted, there we go. So everybody can see that. So that's the purpose of this thing. Just sort of alleviate some of the tedious effort that you have to do for this treatment. So I will share my screen and we can get it going. All right, can everybody see this?
Yes.
All right, let me make sure that we're optimized for video. Yep, we're good. All right, here we go.
All right, I'm gonna try to assemble this transformation of a personal grooming tool into a paper perforating pen. Grace Owen Weiss, Associate Book and Paper Conservator at Goldsmith Conservation Lab, NYPL. We have all our materials: nose hair trimmer, some Loctite, the quick click 0.7, and the Papermate clear point. This is 0.9 millimeters. So we need one of each of these. And we're just gonna follow her PDF here. See if we can't create ourselves a perforating pen. Let's try it. First step, remove the colored plastic frame by gently prying with a fingernail or small tool. Here's a small tool. See if we can get under there, pry it out. That's not gonna work. There we go. This fingernail works okay. Put that down. Now grasp the blade with the small pliers, rocking gently side to side to detach it from the plastic arm. Okay, something broke. Piece of plastic. There we go. Removed. Discard the blade, save the plastic frame to install later. Remove the small metal barrel from a Papermate 9mm. Okay, let's go do that. There it is, metal barrel and plastic tip. All right. There we go. Don't need that. Just keep this piece of tape behind the plastic to keep it leaning forward. Standard piece of tape. Keep that there. Okay. File, narrow down the plastic arm so that the metal barrel will fit over it. File down the square sides of the arm. Barrel should cover approximately 1/8 of an inch of the arm from the top down. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna have to file actually a bit off of this for sure. Maybe this will work. Whole board with some sandpaper. Oh yeah, much better. Just gonna go around and make this not square. See how close we are. Probably not that close. Oh god, no. Got a lot to go. Okay. Kind of bracing it so as to not break the small plastic bit. Getting there. All right, bookboard file was successful. Now we have the little metal piece going about 1/8 of an inch onto our plastic piece. There we are. Check it out. Cool. All right. Push the metal barrel down onto the arm till the barrel begins to taper. There will be an empty space at the tip that will be used to hold the needle. The barrel should fit snugly on the arm. It can be crimped to the arm with small pliers. No adhesive is needed. That's pretty snug. With a small push drill or heated awl, make an hole in the top of the trimmer head large enough for a sewing needle to slide easily in and out. Okay. Let's get an awl. I suppose we can take the tape off. Boop. Lovely. God, tape is evil. Alright. Okay, I'm gonna try to heat this up then. Get any adhesive off of it, anything that's on there. Oh, I'm gonna flame it. Going to try to flame this thing. Heat it up a bit. through. I think that's pretty much centered. Oh, not terribly actually. That might work. Heating that did the trick though. Well, if we need to make it bigger, we can try. We'll see. Okay, remove the plastic nose cone from the Pentel Quick Click. 0.7. Okay, cone removed. Using a needle, pull out the small gasket inside it. Discard it. Keep the cone. Discard the rest of the pencil. Okay. Let's try to get in there and get this gasket out. There it is. Cheeky. Alright. Throw that away. Keep that. Put it. Okay, choose a sewing needle that will easily slide through the cone tip. Cut the needle 1 1/8 inches long. Okay. Will this one work? Nope. No, so it's too big. Way too big. Okay. Let's find a small needle. Alright. Got some lovely looking vintage needles here. Looks like they've never even been opened. Let's see. Most of these are pretty small. Let's try this boy. That slides pretty easily in and out. So we're going to cut it to 1 1/8 inches. Just there. Oh, bent it. Okay, so I realized that this was not going to come out center through the hole, so I had to open it up a little bit. And I think this time around, I'm just going to put a generous helping of epoxy on this and run it through. To get epoxy on the hole. Shit. Okay. Let's use this. Not that. Discarded. There we go. That's a nice dot. That back in. Mm-hmm. All right, I believe we're as dry as we're gonna be. Cleaned up some of the junk, and now we're gonna finish and test out. Need a mouse pad, or some kind of padded surface to perforate on. Got a little heavyweight Japanese paper, some shapes drawn on there. Okay. So we are supposed to replace this because apparently it helps guide the head. Put this back in. Right. Back in there. And then this is just supposed to fit right on top of here with no adhesive or anything. what do you know? It does. Wow. That is wild. Okay. Well, moment of truth. Let's see. Throw our battery in. Well, we are in business. We have movement on the needle. It's like a little tattoo gun. And now let's see. All right, did a little troubleshooting, and hopefully the epoxy's gonna stay. Let it dry a bit longer, and I also put everything on before it was dry, so it would dry at the right angle. So, test it out.
All right, that was it. Any questions on that in itself?
So did you try to do, like how did the fills, it looked like you had a lot of little fibers on the edges, which is great. So when you put down the fills, did they meld pretty well with the rest of the paper?
I mean, I haven't used any of the ones that I've made on an actual object yet, but yeah, I mean, you get all of the, similar long fibers on the edges that you would if you were just perforating by hand and then doing it. Yeah, it just really is a time saver and helps save your hands too, Oh,
Like
dang.
you can get very precise shapes too.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Whatever, you need at this point. I'm sorry, I'm seeing all the chat stuff now.
How sharp does it cut? Do you think you could do it on a piece of Mylar and it would cut through the Mylar too?
Oh yeah, I believe. I mean, it might take a little longer because you'd need to go slower to get, more of a cut and less of a perforation. But yeah, I would say on a thin mill Mylar, you could do it for sure. But yeah, the mouse pad is integral. Like you don't want to do it on like a cutting board or a cutting mat or any kind of hard surface because it bounces a lot. So having that sort of cushion really helps. And actually, I wanted to show you all. So this is another similar thing that's purpose built. This is the Crayola cutter. And you could probably find this at a thrift store like I did for $6.19. It claims to do the exact same thing, but it comes with this really weird, like chiseled point sort of thing. And so I had to take that out, and I actually just, outfitted it with an eraser and another needle. So, works the same way, goes up and down, but it comes with this cute little cutting mat that's like so adorable that I don't know, sometimes I'll just use that instead of the mouse pad. But this is kind of a less efficient option. It'll give you, there's way less control with this thing. This was just a fun thing that I picked up. I was like, oh, this is like the same thing. Huh. Yes, he was having a transformer. He's like, this is blowing my mind. They can cut where scissors can't. What else? Yeah, it was, I mean, really, that's all I did was record myself going through that PDF. And that was the first time I'd done it and done a second round. The only things that I would say if you want to build this thing to be aware of, like I said in the very last portion, was that I put the epoxy in the little metal barrel on the plastic tip, then put the needle in, then the cap and the guard, and let it all dry that way. So it all dried at the right angle, and probably let it dry a little longer than you're thinking you need to before you start using it. Because the first time I did, it just detached and went all over. So
Andrew, can you tell, oh, sorry, Rachel. Can you tell yet how well you think this will hold up to repeated use?
I think really well. Absolutely. Yeah. I think I could cut and cut and cut with this thing, honestly. And until your needle gets dull, but that probably won't happen if you're using a cushioned pad, So yeah, I mean, as long as a nose hair trimmer lasts. As long as you construct it, like in the way, like I was just saying, that it's at the right angle and it's not experiencing any friction along that path of movement, because otherwise then, yeah, you're going to get wear and it'll not work as well or not work as long. So yeah, I just had to make sure that all the angles and stuff were straight on, and not going to do that.
Do you think there's a way to change the needle out at any point, or is the epoxy it's on there?
No, I mean, it's pretty much on there, but I think you'd be able to change it out if you needed to. Even still, like the metal barrel isn't attached with any adhesive, so you could just take out the whole metal barrel part and then replace
that's
that.
true.
Yeah. Yeah, the cost of a mechanical pencil.
Right.
Yeah, that actually kind of relates to what I was going to ask, which is if someone was going to go and build this, approximately how much would it cost them?
I think I paid a total of like 40 for all of it or something. 30 or 40, something like that. I know that the one that I got, this nose hair trimmer, wasn't, I don't think it was the exact one that she mentioned in the PDF, but it's the exact one. It's like series 1000 instead of 3000, right? Yeah, same exact thing. As long as it looks like this with like the blue thing, it's the same.
Excellent. And it looks like we do have a question from Kate in the chat. For those of us who don't do paper conservation, if you didn't have this tool, you would be perforating the paper by hand with a needle or a fine owl, right?
Yeah, you'd be using an awl pretty much. Just tracing that shape with your hand, like, takes a while. It does take a while. And if it's a weird shape, or it's even, it's pretty big, it's kind of hard on your hands after a while.
What
It can
was the
be
most
hard to
expensive
hold
part? Sorry.
I was gonna say to Kate, it can be hard to hold the needle as close as you need to be as fine in terms of like getting that perforation. So it seems like it gives you more control to really put the needle where you want to put it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was surprised actually, because I mean, when I did the Crayola cutter one, obviously, I mean, it's much choppier. It's meant for children. It's like you can still do it, but your perforations are going like like all over the place. This is, I mean, you can do like a really nice straight line, like whatever needs to be done. Yeah, this thing will just go right through it. And that was some thick paper that I was using. This stuff, you know, it's pretty heavyweight, so it had no trouble getting through it.
What was the most expensive part of that project? Was it the needle, the nose trimmer itself, or?
Oh yeah, of course. I think that was the most expensive part. Like I think it was like $30 or something. And the rest of the stuff, yeah, is like, you know, a couple packs of mechanical pencils and then the epoxy. That's it.
Going back to earlier in the chat, Jamie asked and others seconded, how on earth did she figure all of this out? Do you know anything about her process?
No, I mean, I was looking for something else on the AIC wiki, and I was like, I saw something about a nose hair trimmer, and I was like, what the hell is this? And I looked, and yeah, she had made an earlier version. This is like an updated version from, she presented it at the 2014 conference, and she updated it after that at some point. I forget when, but yeah, I mean, props to Grace Owen Weiss. It's like such an ingenious thing. I'm really thankful that she just posted that PDF on the wiki, and I was able to build it and show it to you all. So I have no idea where, you know, her mind was with that, but really, I think, you know, like, what can I use that'll make a bunch of little holes really fast? It's like, well, a tattoo gun kind of does that, but I don't want to buy a tattoo gun for this, right? So yeah, I think that's probably where her train of thought was, just speculating. Oh my God, nose hair trimmer hacker blog. Nice.
I would imagine you could use a tattoo gun, but is that obviously probably a lot more expensive, and I don't know if they're regulated in any way.
I mean, they're not, but that's
Okay.
not very practical. Like,
Yeah,
the needles that you use for tattoo guns too are typically like a bunch of needles all
Right.
in an arrangement, not
Right.
just one. Yeah, so
Yeah.
would be different, probably not as useful, and much more expensive.
Do you have any idea of like how much time this will save you?
Well, the next time I have an object that needs a lot of fills, I'll be happy that I made it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's not necessarily like, depending on where you work, for me, it's not an everyday thing that I have to make a ton of fills. But, you know, when that project presents itself, it's like, wow, I don't have to sit there by hand and do this. Like, I'll be able to save a bunch of time just by having made this thing. And
I
it'll
see
be
this
probably more
less-
precise.
yeah, I see this less as a time saver and more as like, wow, I could get a really nicely shaped fill that would be a giant pain for me to do by hand, literally and figuratively.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
What other questions do people have? Feel free to unmute yourself or just pop them into the chat.
Chris, I see you use an embroidery needle stuck to a wine cork. Nice. It's basically the same thing, just mechanized.
Well, if there's no other questions, or if Andrew, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
No, that PDF is on the AIC wiki. If you feel like building one, you know, and you want to connect while you're doing it, feel free, because I've already done it and I could tell you what to avoid or what to make sure you do.
Great.
Andrew, would you consider sharing your recorded presentation maybe on the OPC YouTube channel?
Will this meeting be posted there?
Good question.
I believe we've posted them before.
Yeah,
But
I
what-
think we have.
So then it should be on our
So it'll be
YouTube.
part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if anyone wants the link, I have it unlisted right now. If you want the link directly to the video, just shoot me a message and
Thank you so much. It's very helpful to see you go through the process of figuring out those instructions rather than doing it all from scratch.
yeah, it always helps to have that first, guinea pig. It's like poking myself and realizing things are too big or too small. The filing actually was one of the things that did take a while. I was like just trying to do it with a piece of sandpaper, and then I affixed it to a piece of board so it could be actually like a file. So definitely some trial and error, but it did turn out great. So
Awesome.
Great. All right. Well, thank you very much, Andrew. This was great. Not being a conservator, it's like really amazing to see the kind of solutions that you guys come up with. And I think feeling some, people in preservation labs will probably start making their own.
yeah, I mean, I think, these inexpensive sort of hacks, which it definitely is,
Yeah.
are kind of what we thrive on in this field in ways. It's like, well, I have this very specific problem or thing that I need to do. How can I make it easier on myself, or easier, or like more safe for the object or what have you? So these are just the things that I think we excel at in a lot of ways.
Great. All right. Well, if there's nothing else that anyone has to add, I will call the meeting adjourned at 11:48 a.m. And again, thank you all for joining us and learning from Andrew.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Take care.
Bye.